I saw the finale of 101 Dalmatian Street, and now I gotta talk about it. So let's hop on into the video. Okay, so here is your spoiler warning. If you have not seen the finale yet and you don't want any spoilers, I'm about to pull this episode apart from start to finish. So if you don't want any spoilers, go check out this other video I made on 101 Dalmatian Street in the meantime, because my goodness, this episode went from cute puppies do cute things to, oh my god, this woman's scary. Whoa, Cruella. Okay, last warning to get out of here if you don't want spoilers. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, so guys, cute puppies do cute things too. My goodness, this is definitely the most intimidating version of Cruella that I have seen. I mean, they showed Cruella in the first movie, but the stuff she does in this episode is next level. Like, it's implied in the first movie, but in this episode, they're not afraid to, like, go all out. Like, jeez, it's insane. I know I have no interest in watching the new Cruella movie because it just looks like sympathetic modern day Cruella cash grab movie that just, I've seen the reviews and it's enough to tell me that I really don't want to see it, and I really had I didn't even know it was being made. And when I found out about it, I had no desire to see it either, so never gonna see that. But I do know from watching reviews that it does have like a whole arc with Cruella, and that movie apparently took an hour to tell this dead story about Cruella, and 101 Dalmatian Street, this show that apparently aired on Disney Junior, took 20 minutes to show you the real Cruella. So let us jump right into this episode. Last time for your spoiler warning. Here we go. I'm going to be focusing a lot on Cruella because obviously she's the staple of this episode, and just the way she's animated, the way that she holds herself, like she does all these like weird kind of poses, and she's all like, you know, her hips are like out here. I could actually probably replicate that. Look, if I just pull on my tracker a little bit, and she's like standing like this in doorways, and the way she moves and everything, the animation is just on Cruella is just amazing. Hold on, let me fix my hips a second now. They've gone all... Evidently, I cannot do the Cruella pose without breaking myself, so I'm going to pull from memory vaguely what happens in this episode and what stood out to me. I'm not going to go through it beat by beat. I'm just going to say what sticks in my brain 3 days later after watching this, because I was kind of just the way the whole rest of the series goes, and then you go into this episode and you're just kind of thrown completely off guard. Cruella's obviously older now because these Dalmatians are like the next generation. I don't really know, they keep changing it, but they're not the original Dalmatians, so Cruella's older, but she still looks relatively the same. Obviously she's stylized for the cartoon, but you can tell that she's had a lot of surgery and she gets cracks that sometimes appear on her face, and she has to spray this perfume like stuff on her to reform her face, which is just the best. I love it. Honestly, 10 out of 10. You have to watch this special. Even if you don't watch the rest of the series, you don't have to watch the rest of the series. This Cruella just carries this episode so well. She's menacing yet funny at the same time. It's so hard to explain, but anyway, she has to do this thing to make sure that her face does not fall off. Okay, so the episode starts out with Dante just flipping out, and he's happy because all the puppies were laughing at him because his predictions were always wrong when really they weren't, because sometimes he was actually right throughout the series, but we won't go into that. But anyway, he was getting all these predictions wrong, the puppies were making fun of him, he was sad, and to make him feel better, they started acting out his predictions to make him think that he was right about his "this is the end of the world" stuff that he likes to scream. But then what happens is Dante actually sees that Cruella's nephew is watching them, and he goes to report it, and nobody really believes it because it's Dante and he's always screaming about the end of the world. I'm not sure how I feel about it. Like, he snaps out of it when he realizes that he's happy about the fact that all his family's about to be killed and turned into fur coats and captured. I mean, why would you be so elated about the apocalypse? Just because you were right, that's not... He starts rubbing that phrase, but Dante's always been an interesting point for me. I've never really liked Dante that much. Oh, also a callback they do is when Cruella first shows up, she goes tearing throughout London and causing accidents and screaming like a crazy lady. But yeah, they end up going under siege as Cruella and her nephew are just waiting outside for the puppies to come out so that they can obviously capture them and take them off to be made into fur coats. Okay, so here's where it starts to get dark. These are puppies, okay? This woman is pure evil. Downright the most evil form of Cruella I have ever witnessed. Obviously, she's a lot more salty now because she lost to the parents, and she's just really wants this puppy coat. Like, she is off the rails, and they are not afraid to go there. So the first thing, I'm not going to be in exactly the right order. I'll just call out as I remember. Cut off their heat. So they're dying of heat exhaustion. If that's not bad enough, they cut off their food supply. Then they cut off their power supply. And they cut off their water supply. So they're basically under siege with nothing. Now these are puppies, like puppies. They've done nothing to you. They're just dogs trying to go about their day. And you're just dehydrating them, starving them, making them die of heat. And all this, and they try to contact the worldwide woof, which is basically the barking chain for assistance, and they use a dog whistle to intercept that. The worldwide woof is just weird in this, by the way. They basically scream it in English and then they just bark. I assume that the bark is them relaying the message, or they just bark once, or they bark to open the line and then speak and then bark. I don't really know. But anyway, she intercepts the worldwide woof. You know, hit new name, just call it the barking chain, same thing. Not through circumstance, but at the same time I kind of understand it, but it's just kind of a cringy plot point in general. Basically, Cruella's nephew was locked away in this crate for 6 months, having failed to capture the puppies and getting stuck in there himself, and he didn't get contacted by Cruella once. Okay, reminder, this is her nephew who she sent to capture the puppies, and she didn't inquire. This woman is evil. But he's just trying to get the attention of his aunt because he is a child and he wants the attention, but he doesn't get it. Anyway, he spends forever locked up in this crate, and he begins to think he's a dog because he's just left to eat dog food. And yeah, I mean, he's not exactly treated like a dog because he's locked in a crate, but he just gets this psychiatric thing where he's normal, but then certain things will trigger a dog reflex and he'll just start acting like a dog. Anyway, he's chasing something to the park. I can't remember what it was, probably a cat. He's chasing something through the park and he just happens to see this hole in the floor, and then Cruella finds their way. So that's how Cruella finds their way out. It's stupid, but I guess I can let it pass. I mean, just, she had to find out someone. I think they have an out. And this is where it starts to get crazy. Cruella puts the giant crate at this exit in the park. And at this point, the puppies are all running through the hole, and they are being thrown into this crate as soon as they pop out of the dirt. Like, not one of them is thinking, hey, maybe I should yell to the other puppies to let them know to maybe, like, don't come up here. But they're just kind of being grabbed and thrown, so they're probably a little stunned. But, you know, they climb in your window, they snatching these puppies up, they gonna find you, they snatching all the puppies. The mom and the dad are distracting Cruella back at the house, who has broken into the house. She's swinging, like, she's in the house, swinging the handbag around at the parents. Now, this is Cruella, okay? You know that's not just a handbag. The handbag probably got bricks in it or something. Like, something that's gonna do damage. Like, Cruella don't play. Picks up the dad dog and she throws it. This is a cartoon aimed at kids. I'm not saying no. I mean, I don't have kids. I was thoroughly enjoying it, but I was just, like, watching this going, is this still the same show? Hello? But you know, they just gotta keep her distracted. The mom ends up getting caught in the net by the nephew, and then the dad gets sprayed in the face with her perfume that stops her face from cracking. And you think you think that, okay, it can't get much worse than this, but it does. Actually, I should backtrack a little bit too. As the mom says to the older two puppies, she's like, you're old enough to know who Cruella is, and then she just straight says to them, she's here to kill us all. Like, straight up Disney cartoon, looks at the characters and says, she gonna kill us all, Cruella's gonna skin us for our fur. Like, wow. At this point, the nephew still hasn't figured out, by the way, that they have to die in order to get the fur off them. He kind of dumb. But anyway, they are loading up the adults into the car when the prissy little dog, there's this neighbor dog who has just said that she hates the puppies, she's all prim and proper, and she actually tries to stop them, and this is where it gets kind of funny, and she like clings onto Cruella races off in the fashion that she does, and this dog's just holding onto the back. All these people are watching Cruella, and of course you got your little animal activists who see this dog hanging off the back of the car, and they call the police, and they're on their way. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, our protagonists, Dolly and Dylan, see the crate being flown away, and they jump on the back of the police horse, which is also a character in the show, and they start racing after this crate. And now we got Cruella being chased down the street in her car, chased by a police horse who's just screaming, "Nina, Nina, Nina!" And then Cruella looks in her little mirror, and it was so cheesy, but it just got me. And she just looks in the mirror and she goes, "Police, hold your horses!" And then just like races off. But anyway, Cruella arrives, and then she turns to her nephew and she's like, "I don't need you anymore." So she yeets him into the crate with all the puppies that he just betrayed. Obviously the puppies aren't going to maul him, but if this was real life, the puppies would probably maul him. But she throws her nephew back into the crate and then boards the ship, and the crate gets put on the ship, and the puppies are just like growling at this kid, and he's having a breakdown. And you know, redemption arc, we all saw it coming. He's the nephew, of course. He's going to be the ones that some kids relate to, and of course he's going to have a redemption arc. Whatever, not important. We're focusing on Cruella. And after that, and before that, she straight says, while holding the smallest puppy, Dorothy, who's just adorable, "We're gonna dump the remains in the ocean." Cartoon. Reminder. You can make fun of me for watching kids' cartoons all you want, but you just... wow. I know that a lot of this will fly over little kids' heads, but wow. I have not seen anything like this from Disney in a long time, and this is why I'm pleasantly surprised. At least not in a younger kids' cartoon. Like, older kids cartoons, sure, but I don't think it ever gets to this level, and I'm surprised they were allowed to do this. And it's amazing. Police horse is catching up, the ship is sailing away, the horse stops on the edge of the pier and yeets our protagonists, literally yeets them onto the ship, and then they crash into the ship and they go, "Thank you," and just like slide down. I love it. It's like the perfect mix of drama and comedy. Like, they just nailed this. I vaguely remember what happens next, but the fox ends up around Cruella's neck after she's introduced her machine. Dawkins has this little plushie that he carries around called Mrs. Something, I can't remember, but anyway, she has this whole device and she puts this little plushie through it, and it basically tears this plush up, like completely severs it, and it's just like horror moment. She's actually gonna dice up these puppies. Obviously she's not, but anyway, she ends up with the fox around her neck, and the fox ends up mauling her in the face to distract her while the other puppies are freed. And the fight ensues basically, and Cruella ends up on this machine and she gets pulled into the machine, and you straight see the blades of the machine come down on top of her, and then the dogs say, "We're not the animals here," and then they stop the machine, and Cruella comes out. She's only had a buzz cut. I'm like, yo, she was in there long enough to be like, all like that plush got mauled in seconds. There's no way. She's an adult, but she's also skin and bones, and she's basically dust at this point. She is the devil. You're not telling me. Okay, kids cartoon. Okay, kids cartoon. Calm down, Tails. Anyway, she comes out this machine. She's barely harmed. Gets locked up. Happy ending for all. But wow, that was a ride. And of course, the kid at the end, the nephew, in the crate, he was all like, "I'm just looking for a family. You have a family, and I don't feel sorry for me." And then they just kind of leave him at the end. Like, he's probably just been disowned by his aunt and has nowhere to go, and the dogs just leave him. It's like, okay. I was half expecting him to go home with the dogs, at least hang out for a while, maybe recover. If ever there was a season 2, he doesn't have to come back. But I know I just kind of went on a tangent explaining the episode, but there's no way I could talk about my thoughts without explaining the episode, and I think you guys probably got my thoughts from this episode. It was fantastic. I loved it. Cruella was amazing. The way she was animated, her lines, the voice actress was just perfect. Everything was on point. If you don't watch the rest of the series, then please just go watch the last episode. Like, it is 20 minutes of Cruella just being the next level of Cruella. You haven't seen Cruella until you've seen this Cruella. Like 101 Dalmatians Cruella, like she was evil, but she didn't actually do anything. This Cruella, she put these puppies under siege and then threatened to throw their remains in the ocean, okay? This Cruella, just I don't even know. I just had to make a video on it after seeing it because it just subverted my expectations so much. I was expecting a mediocre finale, and I went in like, this was better than a full-length movie in like 20 minutes. So much happened. Obviously a lot of it was silly and break up, you know, all the traumatic things that Cruella's doing. It's still a cartoon, but wow, it gets dark. You could feel the tension in the cartoon, and I already said the animation was obviously Disney next level. We need more 101 Dalmatian Street. It's not looking likely, unfortunately, because it's been a while and there's been no announcement for renewal of season 2. I don't think it did all that well on Netflix. I don't think it did all that well on Disney Plus, and it's kind of in the air, and I really, really hope it does. And if it doesn't, at least we got this 26 episode season of just nice, cute puppies doing cute things, and then a finale that just kind of like goes, whoa. And I would love to see them use Cruella more in season 2. I'm sure she would be a bigger protagonist. And they often, season 1 is an experiment where the more fun thing happens and they try to establish their audience, and then season 2 they just kind of up it a notch. Like My Little Pony is a good example of that. It was aimed at little kids, and then they realized there's a bunch of adult males who also watch the show and they have money, so let's cater to them a bit. And they didn't go fully away from kids because obviously they're a demographic, but they did give nods and winks to this adult fandom that was going on. I'm not saying the same thing will happen. Then again, after seeing, oh god, PTSD. That thing at the end of my last video about 101 Dalmatians where I clicked on the Dolly image, it wasn't even a half of it. Like, always use safe search when Googling anything, even Disney characters. That's all I can say. I searched Dolly without safe search on. I can't even say, y'all need someone to come down and cleanse your souls, okay? Just, oh my goodness, I just wanted to look at pictures of puppies for a video, and oh god, why? Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I will no doubt revisit 101 Dalmatian Street again in the future, whether it's just to talk about an episode I like, because I might go back and watch it again in the future and actually think of it more of a coming back and giving my feedback view. I was just kind of watching it to chill. I will. There's plenty of other topics to talk about though. Please go check out this finale. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you guys will check out my other videos. I do a how to draw series, and of course there's this series that's going on right now where I just kind of draw, chill, talk about whatever. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I also have a Patreon. I keep forgetting, but thank you, Elijah, for being that amazing Patreon sub I have right now. If you have the time, go check out my comic Tame. It's the one that I've been drawing throughout this whole series. The link will be, but yeah, if you have the time, please go check that out. It will really help me out. Put a lot of time into this comic, and I really just want to share it with the world. So thanks for watching, guys. I have no idea what I'll talk about next, but that is the beauty of this series. I can talk about literally anything. So thanks for watching. Bye, guys.